Today's project is replacing a bubble skylight. As you can see, I've removed the existing skylight that was down here. Kind of had to remove it. The people who owned this before me obviously had a leak around the skylights, so they used some of that Eternabond tape, but they used really wide tape, and it came well over the edge. It was way down in here, and it really didn't look very good. So I was trying carefully to remove it, and well, the skylight didn't seem to like that and shattered on me. So I had to order a new skylight. I ordered it online. It took pretty close to 3 weeks, I think, to get it here. Now it's here, so I'm cleaning it all up. I spared you the long and arduous process of cleaning up all that Eternabond goo on here. I'm down to just the epoxy. I see where some people say you can leave the epoxy on there, but I just want to go ahead and get it off. It does come off with a putty knife and a little bit of muscle work, so it'll probably take me about another half hour to clear this all out before I'm ready to install the other skylight. This is a lot of fun. Okay, edges are all clean. And I can tell you right now, I can see why people say leave the epoxy on. I am going to definitely be feeling this in my arms and shoulders tomorrow. That is a workout. If you want to do it that way and remove it like I just did, I recommend getting a nice stiff putty knife. Here's one I got. I just happen to have that one here. It's very stiff because you really got to get underneath it and pry up on there. This is all prepped now, just to wipe down, take care of it, and then I got to glue it into place. The bubbles on the flagstaff, and on most of these, are not they're not held down by any screws or rivets or anything like that, so they're just glued in place. That's why they originally used epoxy, but I think that leads to one of the problems. Almost everybody who has these, after a while, ends up with leaks. You can see this one had a leak going in the corner over there. And that's probably why they use the Eternabond tape on it, trying to stop that. Well, what basically is happening is you've got a big flat panel here, and as you go down the road, this thing's going to be like having a sheet of plywood in the back of a pickup truck. It's going to want to flex up and down a little bit. When that happens, any joints are going to have stress on them, and this is epoxied in place. So what ends up happening on these skylights here is the corners all crack and the edges and stuff. So if you go you go back and you got a leak in yours and you're trying to seal it up, and you put a nice bead of caulk around it and it's still leaking, it's probably the skylight itself. Almost every one I have and all the ones I've seen have got cracks in them, right, especially right in the corners. So you can temporarily put down a good flexible caulk down in there, and not silicone, something like well, I use Sikaflex on it. Because I know that that's probably going to last until at least I replace the skylight. This other skylight here is going to get replaced. I'm just doing one of them right now to see how this goes. So what I have to do is I have to put down a bead of Sikaflex here, set down the bubble here, and then put a framework around there with weights on there to get it to sit. So I'm going to get that going. So here's the new skylight that I ordered, and if you notice, it doesn't exactly match the other one, and that's fine. When I ordered these, they told me they did not carry the dark color. They just carried the amber. And I said, well, that's fine because I'm going to replace both of them. I just bought one to see how it works. It is lexan. And I'll give you the dimensions. It's 22.5 by 22.5, and I went with 4 inches high. I think the other one was like 3.5 inches high. And it's 25 3/4 inch flanges on the outside. So you can see it lines up pretty well with the other one, but it's a little bit higher. It's not the same color. And if anybody else wants to get one like this, I ordered it through Easy Tops. You can find them online. All right, I've got my frame, and I'll glue on the bubble skylight. I'll put this over top of it, put some weight on top of it, and let it set up. This is what I'm using, Sikaflex 221 multi-purpose polyurethane sealant and adhesive. I ordered it online. I think they might carry it at Camping World, but I got it through Amazon. And I'm going to run 2 beads of it, an inner and an outer, just so that I've got double sealing on there. So I'll get that put on now. And you can see I've got it in the bed of Sikaflex, wiggled it down a little bit to make sure it's nice and seated. Now I'll put the weights on it. I've got a board on top of it. I've got some random weights, a couple batteries, some actual weights on top of it to weigh it down. And I'll just let it sit. It's late afternoon here. I'll just let this sit until tomorrow. It'll be fine, and then it should be all good. And tomorrow I'll pull it off, caulk the edges, and should be ready to go. So it has been a few days since I installed the Skylight. I waited 24 hours. I removed the 2x6 frame and all the weights off of it. I let it sit another couple of days. It says to let it sit 3 days for the Sikaflex to set up, which I did. Then I went back and I caulked the edges. Put a nice neat bead of caulk around the edges. I've water tested this, no problems, no leaks, nothing. It was not a difficult job. It was very time consuming. If you don't feel comfortable doing something like this, please hire a professional. Again, you know, be safe. Don't do anything that's going to hurt you or damage your property. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know.